Today's all about scopes. And I'm really excited to show you guys something that I just recently purchased from Euro-Optic for a price that I could not pass up. I saw that they had the new Kahles K328i DLR for sale for $3,499. So I had to pick it up. They sent it to me and it just came in today. And I've never done an unboxing video before, but I figured we ought to get into it together. So let's do it. Gotta say, not extremely impressed with the packaging from Kahles. This is the first time that I've opened up a package from Kahles, so I'm not sure if this is standard or not, but other scopes that I have are packaged a little bit nicer. That's my first impression anyway. So let's get this thing out. Wow, first thing I can notice about this is the size of the diopter. Let's see, are we missing anything else? Keep that out. Can't forget the patch down here. That looks cool. Okay, and what do we have in here? A sleeve of some sort. There we go. Let's set this off to the side. And there we go. We have our Kahles scope. Take these stickers off. Oh no. I'll have to get that off. Cut, and then we'll come right back. All right, I'm back. I was able to get that off. So, wow, okay. First impressions, what do I think? I think it looks great. Freaking fantastic. I mean, size-wise, let's just talk about that for a second. It's a 36mm tube and a 50mm objective lens. And the eyepiece, the glass just on the back side of it is huge on the diopter side. What is this thing? Oh my word. This is their bump-proof windage solution. So instead of having like a lock for the windage, they just have this like free spinning thing. I hope you guys can see that. Look, it spins freely without turning this. So if you bumped it, it would bump, but it wouldn't actually move your windage without you noticing. I mean, it's nice because for a right-handed shooter like myself, right, I like having the windage right here, where if my hand's, you know, at the bag underneath the gun, I can just, you know, look over, see where I'm at for windage, dial, make an adjustment without having to peek over, see where I'm at on this side. I much more frequently use windage, so I keep that on the left side with these Kahles scopes, which is nice. And I very rarely do I use illumination, which is what this knob is. So it's kind of nice with the Kahles scopes if you're not familiar. The Kahles, everything can be done with the left hand for a right-handed shooter. I can make my focus adjustment, focus the target image right up here, which you can see like that. And I can adjust and dial my wind with my left hand too, which is nice. So, all right, let's get into the main body of this thing. It's unlike anything I've seen to this point. I've held a Zero Compromise, and those have a 36mm tube, main tube, and I thought that was large. This is a 36mm main tube as well, but it's a 50mm objective, and yet they get a 40% increase in the field of view with this scope than other scopes in its class. That's crazy. I don't know the technology behind all of this stuff, but I'd be sure, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna test this for myself. All right, so let's go over some of the specs here. So we'll set this down, and I'll just kind of read it off the sheet. That way I make sure I get this stuff right. So at 100 yards, the field of view all the way out at 3.5 magnification is 42.9 feet. All the way zoomed in is 5.4 feet. So you're getting almost 5.5 feet field of view at 28 magnification. Just want to compare that real quick. At 100 yards in the Nightforce, you get 4.6 feet. And at 100 yards field of view for the Steiner at max magnification, which is 30, you get 4 feet. So we're talking 28 magnification, 30 magnification, 32 magnification. So different magnification ranges. So that's not really a fair comparison, but it is impressive. You're getting almost 5.5 feet at 28 magnification with this. And that's not that far off from the 30 magnification you get with the Steiner. The Steiner's doing 4 feet at full mag. So there's definitely something going on in this one, technology-wise, that's different than the rest. All right, let's go back to the Kahles. Scope weighs 36.7 ounces. It's 14.2 inches long. It has a total elevation dial of 34 mils. That's crazy. That's insane. I mean, you get that somewhat in the Nightforce ATACers. I think the Vortex Razor Gen 3 is like 34 or 36 mils total elevation, but I mean, they're twice the size. This thing is small. I mean, for comparison, let's just put it lengthwise against the Steiner here. And we've got your Kahles, your Steiner, and now let's add the Nightforce NX8 4-32 as the shortest. Lengthwise, your Kahles is just a little bit longer than the NX8 4-32. It's a good fair bit smaller than the Steiner T6Xi. Let's compare that against the old 624 model. That is a big difference. So this is the Kahles 624, if you're not familiar, and this is the new Kahles 328. So quite an improvement. You're getting more field of view in a smaller package with this thing. And then look at the difference. The diopter side lens is so much bigger. I gotta think that that's why you can get a larger field of view in the Kahles by so much. Look at how small it is on the 624 and the 328. That's crazy. Let's see what we get comparing these two. Yeah, this one's larger too by quite a good amount, and it's larger than the Nightforce too. So, wow. Guys, first impressions are really good. I love the way Kahles scopes feel, right? Okay, so on the dial, here we go. That is such a distinct sound. You could never mistake that. There's no play in the turret. It's just deliberate dials, snaps into place, and it's freaking perfect. And it feels really good. They feel solid. I like how on the Kahles, to let you know that you're up one rotation, this thing pops out a little bit at you, just so you can see. And then we'll dial up a little bit more. You'll see that pop up even further. Now we've got a white ring underneath it. That lets you know you're 2 rotations up. Hopefully that focuses in there for you. But man, I love the way these turrets feel and sound. You just can't beat it. It does sound really good. I like how large the magnification ring is on the Kahles. It's very large. It seems like it would be easy to grip and move in match conditions, and it's got good resistance and it's super smooth. I like that a lot too. Just like everything about the Kahles scopes, but man, are they pricey. So that's the next thing I wanted to talk about. So if this is $3,500 on sale, and I think normally they sell for right around $4,200 or $4,300, then how can you justify spending the kind of money on this scope when you have options like the Steiner and the Nightforce out there? So let's talk about what you get in the Steiner and the Nightforce offerings now. Up first, we have the Nightforce. These are my favorite scopes. The scopes that I have, I've had a Kahles for a long time. I've had Nightforce optics for a long time. I used to have a lot of Vortex razors, and I got rid of all of those and swapped over to these. These Nightforce NX8s are so versatile. Put them in these Spur QD mounts and they're freaking amazing. They're quick to mount up. You just use this wedge. This is what I do. I use the wedge, put it in there, and as long as, I mean, you don't even have to have this thing on the rifle to mount these. You just set them in, put them on the wedge, tighten the scope rings down, and it doesn't move, and it's leveled square with the base. When you clip it on like this, it's literally just as easy. Push it forward, so get it to engage on the pick rail, and there you go. It's that easy. And I've confirmed through my testing that when you mount and dismount this, it maintains a perfect zero. So I like this setup. I use it a lot. I've got 4 of them. I've got 3 of the NX8 2.5 to 20s. I've got an NX8 1 to 8 LPVO, and I've got the NX8 4 to 32. They're just so good. They're really great. 30 millimeter main tube, 50 millimeter objective lens. The glass is very clear. You have a lockable ring right here for your diopter. The clicks in the turret feel and look great. And this has 26.2 mil total adjustment. You've got a very nice focus knob here on the left. It comes with an illuminated reticle. It's a covered windage turret, which isn't really a deal breaker for me. I know for some people in PRS it is. I don't mind a covered windage turret. I hold for wind so much more often than I dial. And if I do dial, I dial some and hold whatever I need to in the field. So as far as the magnification ring goes, we have 4 to 32. It comes with this throw lever knob, right from Nightforce, brand new. And this has good tension. I would say it's on the looser side tension-wise than the other scopes that we're going to compare it to today, but it's very smooth. No problems with that at all. Guys, this is one of my favorite scope combo packages. And for everybody out there that's going to say, well, you need to level your reticle, you need to level it on the gun and everything like that. Guys, I've tested it. When you put the Spur and the Nightforce in combination like this, and you throw the wedge in there, making sure that it's touching and it's not loose by any means, that reticle is level when this level says. And I've also confirmed that the Nightforces are the only scopes in my lineup, and I have not tested this on the new Kahles 328 yet, but the Nightforces have been the only ones in my lineup that I can put a level on the top cap here, and the reticle is level too. So I think that's a big thing to say about Nightforce as a company, about their scopes. I really like them all. They're lightweight, small, really versatile. That's the Nightforce. So now we get into the Steiner. This is kind of the new guy to the collection here. The Steiner T6Xi 5 to 30. This has a 56 millimeter objective lens, It's a 34 millimeter main tube, and as far as the turrets go on this thing, one of the features that I really like about the Steiner is that, for one, the turrets feel really good, like a well-oiled machine. Of course, most high-quality scope turrets are going to feel and sound awesome, but here we go. So I would say it's more profound of a noise in the Steiner per click than it was in the Nightforce. But as far as the feel goes, the tactile feel of dialing, they feel pretty much the same. I would say they're both very smooth, like a well-oiled machine, I would say, both of them. All right, now you can see on the Steiner, we can see it says 9, 10, 11 right there. Now let me see if I can get this up here for you. When we dial around, you're gonna see that it changes the numbers. So now that we're a full rotation around, you're gonna see 12, 13, 14, 15 mil, instead of dialing back around and seeing the same single digit numbers. Since we're dialed up an entire rev, it tells us that we are in the dial. I really like that. I think that's a really clever feature in the Steiners, something that is super useful. I know there's been a few times where me or my teammate has gone past a full rotation and never dialed back, and then, you know, going to a shorter range stage, like if you go from a 1100 or 1200 yard stage to like a 350 yard stage next, and you didn't dial your turrets all the way back to 0 when you left the first stage, the long range stage, then there's a pretty good chance that you might not dial all the way back to 0. And when you think you're at 2 mil, you might be at 14 mil, or you might be at 12 mil, whatever your scope, however that works in your scope. But you do have lockable turrets, and they lock like this, a little cap on top, spin it, and that locks it. That's pretty cool. I like that feature. Same with the windage side. These turrets feel great. Feel really good, really tactile, got a good sound to them. You have a lockable turret over here as well. Just go ahead and lock that in place. And you have illumination here. So with the illumination on the Steiner, the way it works, it's different than the Nightforce or different than the Kahles, is that you have illumination settings like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 11 here. And every other click or rotation, every other slot on the illumination knob will turn the illumination off. So if you liked your illumination at 5, you can go ahead and have it at 5, and then when you're done, you can just go one click one way or the other and it'll turn it off, which I think is handy if you use illumination. I can't tell you when the last time I used illumination was. I know when my son shoots, he likes to use the illumination because it kind of draws his eye. He's 5 years old, but it draws his eye more to the rifle scope, the crosshairs where it should be. So I use it then, but it's not something that I frequent with hunting or in match conditions. When we go to the magnification ring, we have a good texture here. It's easy to grip. It's fairly large by comparison to the Nightforce. There is no throw lever that comes factory standard on these things, but I think you can get one that's offered in the aftermarket on the Steiner. 5 to 30 magnification. This is slightly stiffer than the Nightforce and feels really smooth. Going back to the diopter, you have a lockable ring right here. It locks your diopter in place once you get it set the way you like it. I think that's really nice. So that's also an important feature. This is a very, very well-rounded scope. What you get, let me look at the spec sheet here. What you get for total elevation out of this scope is 28 mil of total elevation, which is nothing to shake a stick at. It's very good. Field of view is 22 feet at your 5X. And It's 4 feet field of view at 30 magnification at 100 yards. So at 100 yards, you have 4 feet of field of view, and then at 5 magnification, you have 22 feet. So that's where the Kahles really steps in, is you're just getting that much more field of view at 100 yards. It's crazy. So glass quality on the Steiner is superb. It's excellent, phenomenal glass. I like the glass on the Nightforce NX8 as well. It's really good. I would say that as far as the NX8 is compared to the Steiner T6Xi, that the glass quality in the NX8 is probably a little bit less. I don't know if that's a glass quality thing or if it's just the light gathering because of the smaller tube, because of the smaller objective. I'm not sure, but it seems like when you look through the Steiner, it's just a little bit more crisp. So I would say you get a little bit better of an image out of the Steiner. And the incredible thing is, for $1,879, you could have this same rifle scope from Euro Optic. $1,879 minus the rings, of course. $1,879. That's an incredible value. I don't know if there's anything that beats that value on the market. With all of this that you get premium glass, you get a lot of light gathering, you get 5 to 30x magnification. Sure, maybe it's beat out a little bit by the Nightforce and a lot of bit by the Kahles as far as field of view goes. Maybe it doesn't have 30 plus mils of total elevation to dial. But despite those shortcomings against some extremely high quality pieces of equipment, this is such a good scope for the money that you're paying. In the precision rifle community, there's not many that you see come across the board at this price point with these features that look this great. So just wanted to throw that out there to everybody that's watching this video, that if you slept on Steiner, don't do it. It's a really good company. They make a really high quality product. So in summary, what do I think of these scopes? I think what we have here is something that the PRS community hasn't seen before. I mean, it's incredible. I just stepped outside here a little bit ago and we're approaching dusk, and at minimum magnification 3.5x compared to the Steiner, compared to the 4 power of the Nightforce NX8, this does indeed have a significantly larger field of view. As far as getting that competitive edge goes at matches, this really is the next step. If I'm gonna spend this kind of money on a rifle scope, it's gonna go to the best brand in the business, Kahles. And I'm happy to do it. It's a phenomenal product. I can't wait to get and test it a little bit more. I probably missed a couple of things, but just look at how good looking that is. In summary, guys, I think the Kahles is one of those scopes that if you had the money to do it one time and you wanted to do it one time right for a long time, I think the Kahles 328i is one of those must-buy scopes if those are the criteria in which you're buying a scope for. All good things to say about each one of them. Let me give you a con of each before we close. I would say the con, and it's a big con for the Kahles, is the price point. $4,300 is quite a lot of money for a rifle scope. As far as the Steiner, first thing that comes to mind is that 4 feet of field of view at max magnification. So you wind this thing up to 30 magnification. At 100 yards, you get a 4-foot field of view. All the way back down to 5 power. The field of view is 22 feet. By comparison, the Nightforce at 4 power, all the way down to 4 power on the Nightforce, the field of view is 4.6 feet. And the Kahles at 3.5 is the minimum magnification on that. The field of view is 5.5 feet. So that would be a con, I think, field of view on the Steiner. And then the con for the Nightforce NX8, 4-32, any of the NX8 models, just in general, I noticed this is their low light performance. So in the early morning hours or in the late evening, what I see out of this optic is it struggles to bring light through the scope. It seems to be real dark, especially in the higher magnification areas. So I would say that is a con, something to be aware of about the Nightforce. So there you have it, guys. All about scopes. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. If you like videos in this kind of a format, let me know. I can certainly do more of them. I have a Area 419 mount for the Kahles K328i that I will be mounting up and putting it on a rifle soon. I'll have a video up about that, and I'll see you on the next one.